closer together. To create the slope for the tangent line. And then just make sure you include this formula here. All right, so then looking at number 3, it says use a definition of the derivatives to find f prime of x for that. Now remember, the definition of derivative is f prime of x is equal to the limit as h approaches 0, f of a plus h minus f of a over h. So that is the formula. So then we're going to go ahead and break this into parts. Now, if you can just do the derivative, obviously f of x is f prime of x is going to be 4x. I mean, that's going to be your slope of the tangent line, or 4x minus 1. But if you have to use a definition of derivatives, that would take a little bit longer. So then first we're going to do is going to take a look at f of a plus h. So I'm just going to do it separately. F of a plus h is equal to, and this is your function. So whenever there's an x, you're going to replace the x with a plus h squared minus a plus h. So then you would have to FOIL this. So a squared plus outer and inner, we'll add them together. Outer is going to be a times h, which is 1ah. Inner is going to be a times h, which is 1ah. So 2ah plus h squared minus a, distribute the negative, minus h. So then essentially 2a squared plus 4ah plus h squared minus a minus h. And that's just f of a plus h. So then we're going to take a look at, this is minus f of a. So minus f of a. Whenever you see an x value here, you're going to replace with an a. So that's going to be a negative. So negative 2a squared plus, because double negative makes it a positive, a. And so what we're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take this piece and put it right over here, because it's f of a plus h minus f of a. And since we've already integrated the negative, the minus, I'm just going to put minus 2ah plus a all the way over. And don't forget your denominator, which is h. And here comes the fun part, because you can actually cancel a few things. So negative a squared, positive a squared, you can cancel that. Negative a, positive a. And I think that's as far as you can go. So then what's left is I have a 4ah plus h squared minus h over h. Now what you should realize is that you can factor out a h on top. So you have a 4a plus h minus 1. This h and this h cancels, and you have 4a plus h minus 1. And this right here is your f prime of x. But we have to do one extra step, because you have a limit right here. And as you compare this to this, you're like, wait a second, this is 4x minus 1. Why is this 4a plus x or plus h minus 1? You forget the limit. So we have to do the limit. And this is the definition of the derivative. As h approaches 0, your 4a, h becomes a 0 minus 1. So f prime of x is equal to 4a minus 1. Now remember, your x is equal to a from the previous example. And if you don't believe me, do you remember right here? This is your x, okay? X equals a. And in some textbooks, they will use, instead of f of a plus h, they'll do f of x plus h minus f of x over h. And that works as well. It just depends on which textbooks you have. But this right here will be your answer. All right, let's take a look at number 4. The following graph is of the function y equals f of x. Use this sketch to graph f prime of x.